And they got everybody all worked up. You had people absolutely losing their minds, and it was all just a big staged event. Now, my personal theory, Mike, you probably have some insight on this, is that this was an experiment in whether or not they could work people up into...
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I came to that conclusion years ago. Absolutely. I think that was that literally was an intelligence operation.
Yes, I believe that. And you saw how it worked, and that was 70 years ago. Imagine what has become of us now when we are a less discerning, less skeptical, and, dare I say, less intelligent species. God Almighty. As my good friend Mike Piper would say, God Almighty.
God Almighty. Well, listen, unfortunately, I do have to go, but I have enjoyed this immensely. It's been a pleasure to get to know Keith, and I hope we'll do this again soon sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, Mike.
I really appreciate being able to talk to you, Mike.
All right, great, Keith. Keep in touch.
All right.
Righty.
Take care, Mike.
Bye-bye.
All right, Keith, it is down to me and thee. And,
all right.
And we can go for a couple more minutes. We do have a full hour here, so I'd say we've got about another 4 or 5 minutes to go. So anyway, and there you go. There's the beep indicating that Mike has left the building. That is our good friend, dare I say, our hero, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Piper. He is he's everything that we claim he is and more. Trust me, he's just an incredible guy. In fact, the other day my kids were sitting outside, and we were sitting on this big rock where when Mike was here about 3 years ago, he had come, and he was purveying all of the sights and sounds of our little slice of heaven here, and we named this rock Revolution Rock, where he had been, and my kids and I were sitting on it, and my one of my younger ones said, "I wish Mike Piper would come back. He was so much fun." Anyway, Keith, where is it all going? Are we going to put a lid on all of this nonsense, all of this hysteria, this Jewish engineered and inspired hysteria? Are we going to be able to contain this fever that is sweeping through our ranks?
Well, I get discouraged. I'd like to say that I get encouraged every day, but I get discouraged more every day. I mean, the longer I get into this thing, I keep seeing cycles where we make advances, and then those advances bring us back to the very beginning. Mm-hmm. But this is the thing. I mean, it's so basic, it's so simple. You can't get distracted on these side issues, whether it be gay marriage or monosodio glutamate in your food. I don't know if I pronounced that. Fluoridated water. Healthcare. I mean, let me say something about healthcare, for instance. If we had never had this poisonous relationship that we had with these bankers in the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, we would have never been in this problem in the first place. Mm-hmm. We would have had riches beyond anybody's imagination. Yes. And healthcare would be something that would be just, I mean, as human beings, as compassionate human beings, we should never allow someone to have to go through a financial burden just to stay healthy, right? But everybody's worried about the health care problem. The reason that we're in the problem that we're in is because of our adventurism and our imperial, our empire building, and all these other things are superfluous. To me, the only thing that matters is that we don't go into another war, and we stop the wars that we're already in. Mm-hmm. Okay? Anybody who is concentrating on Wall Street and all of these other things, sure, those are good issues, but listen, if you want to turn things around, we have to stop these wars, and we have to kick out the Jewish influence, the Israeli influence on American policy. That's the only way to do it. Yep.
No, I agree. That is why, for me, as much as I hate to say this, I am a one-issue guy. And it's like this. If you are going to go up against the dragon, right, just like St. George did, then don't try to bring this thing down by hacking at his tail or hacking at his toenails or anything like that. You've got to get him in the heart. That is the only place that you're going to be able to do this. And anything else...
We're dealing with a lizard, not like a human. It's like, well, if we cut off the arm or if we cut off the leg, that's going to disable
and it grows back.
It's not a human. It's a lizard. We're dealing with a lizard. When you hack it off, it grows right back. And the only way to kill it is to do it at the head. And I'm not saying that literally, of course, but I am saying that we know what the head is, and we know what needs to be removed from the influence that is destroying this nation. And we know that we have to remove that cancer from the body before anything's going to heal.
Absolutely. And that includes, and again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, that includes resisting anything. Okay, let's face it. I know why these people, some of these webmasters and radio hosts and whatnot, I know why they dabble in the black magic of bashing the Muslims, okay? Because it's easy. It's like hitting a piñata, and every time you hit it, candy falls out of it, okay? Or like throwing your darts at a dartboard where you're allowed to hit anywhere on the dartboard except the center. Now, we know where the center is, and everywhere around there, especially up in this one particular corner, meaning Muslim bashing, every time your dart hits that particular area, you've got people cheering you and buying you beers and taking you out for dinner. Well, I understand why people do it, but you have to understand that you have got to aim for the bullseye. If you are really entertaining any notions of saving your country, and make no mistake about it, my friends, you get on the internet and you look at what has happened to places like Iraq and Gaza and Afghanistan, because that's what they have planned for you. After you have outlived your usefulness, fighting their wars for them, they're going to do to you what they have done to these people. So imagine, you see these fathers picking up the pieces of their children. Imagine that that's you picking up the pieces of your kids. That's what's going to happen if we don't kill the lizard, as my good friend Keith likes to say.
Exactly.
And at the risk of, pardon my French, pissing everybody off by going after these people in our movement who dabble in this stuff, that's just too damn bad. Okay, I'm in this to win. Keith, I think you're in this to win. And I'm not risking my life for something that other people just take to be as a game.
Well, exactly. I mean, I look at it this way. It's just like, if I was to stop doing what I'm doing, what I'm compelled to do, life wouldn't even be worth living.
No.
I mean, because the world that has been created around us is an unlivable place.
It's unlivable.
It's unlivable. And being silent is like sitting in a jail cell in a little 8x10 cubicle for the rest of your life. Okay, you might be able to get a television set in there, and you might be able to get some canteen items from to make you have, but watch some, but that's not living. That's existing.
Exactly.
I mean, you have to. Right. Exactly. I mean, we're not built that way.
No, we have to know that there is a future ahead of us, because if not, there's just no point in living just for today. You have to know that there is a chance that there's going to be a tomorrow. And it's true. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, you eat today because you're hungry, but you also eat today to keep you alive so that you can do what you need to do tomorrow. And that's really what it boils down to. Anyway, speaking of tomorrow, Keith, and the next day, we have reached the end of today's program. I knew it was going to be a good show. I didn't know it was going to be that good. And I hope that I am not imposing on you too much to ask gently, but firmly, that we do this regularly, because this is the kind of stuff that people need to hear. This is the kind of mouthwash that they need to swish around inside their gums to clean out all this nasty bacteria that's infecting them. So I certainly hope that you will be back soon.
Well, thank you. If you offer the, if you extend the invitation, I will be more than happy to return. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, listen, just hold on there for a second. I'm going to close out the program. But I want to talk to you off there, so just hold on for just a second.
All right.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here on this Monday, October the 4th, 2010 edition of the Ugly Truth Podcast. I want to thank not just my